Have you ever gotten hyperfixated on different kinds of foods and then just eat those until you get sick and tired of them? That's been me with seaweed snacks lately. I have literally gone through 3 of these gigantic packs of seaweed snacks lately, and it's becoming an actual problem. I love eating the seaweed snacks with a little bit of soy sauce and sriracha on top of some hot rice. Sometimes I'll pair it with an egg, and every single time I do that, it hits so hard. It's such a delightful combination. I understand why so many people like eating it that way. It's just so simple but so tasty, and of course really, really nutritious too. I love going to T&T because they always have all of my favorite snacks on sale, just different kinds of snacks depending on when you go, which is why you want to go fairly often, but make sure that you're rotating with your other grocery stores so you don't get fatigued and you don't end up buying things that you don't actually need. The best piece of advice that I've ever received for people who might be trying to go grocery shopping on their own for the first time and don't know how to avoid getting sucked into buying things that they don't need is to always ask yourself, would I be buying this if it wasn't on sale? And if the answer is no, then I don't buy things. Now, that being said, sometimes I will do meal planning around what is on sale, but I think that that's fine because you're looking at things and you're planning meals and other kinds of things specifically around what is a good price at that moment, as opposed to buying something because you saw it on the shelves and were like, I kind of want that. I very rarely do meal planning in the way that most people recommend meal planning, where you plan out all of your meals and then go buy things for those meals. What I do is I look through a bunch of different grocery store flyers and then I will pick out the things that I think are a good deal, and then I will plan out my meals based off of that. Now, of course, it does help because I don't like to meal prep at all. I don't know why. It's just something that I've never been able to do. I don't like eating the same thing for days on end. I was not raised in a leftover household. My mom would only ever make however much food that the 4 of us could eat, and then that was it. And that has definitely carried over to adulthood. So even to this day, I cannot have food for multiple days in a row. I always need some sort of variety. But a way for me to be able to handle that is to literally just get enough snacks that I can variate my meals enough just by using those, as opposed to buying up a bunch of food. Of course, making sure that I'm sticking to only the things that are on sale is also incredibly helpful for making sure that I am getting a variety of things in my diet, but also sticking to my budget. T&T in particular is a really good place for this because they are almost always rotating different kinds of staples to go on sale, and I tend to just snap up whatever is on sale. Every single time that I go to T&T, I always end up getting myself a little treat. Their bakery section is literally so good. There's so many different kinds of things. I've even gotten crepe cakes, which I had been craving for literally the longest time, and it was so good. I'm so happy that I got it, and I got it on sale too for literally $8. The normal price was $28. I was like astounded. Their sushi is also really good, and I know what you're thinking, why would you ever get sushi from a grocery store? But let me tell you, their sushi is surprisingly high quality, and the price is actually really good too. I think it's because I live in a place where you can literally have access to fresh, high quality seafood 24/7 all year around, but I've always really appreciated their sushi selection. The hot bar is another really, really nice whenever you're going, and you can always get free samples when you go on the weekends. That's why I end up going on the weekends, because I like trying out all of the different things that they have. This mushy cake thing was what they were giving out this time when I was going, and I think that it's made of pandan or something, and it was so good. I honestly don't know what pandan is. I know that it gives food a super green color, which I always think is so fun to see, and it tastes a little bit like vanilla in my experience, but I don't know if that's what it's supposed to taste like or if that's artificial coloring. Somebody will definitely have to let me know in the comments below. This was that green cake thing that I was talking to you about. I was squishing it because it was really soft and it was pandan flavored, like I said. It tasted incredible. I wasn't in the mood for getting cake this time, so I didn't bother getting it, but I will definitely be checking it out again if they have it on sale in the future. What's your favorite thing that you've ever gotten from the T&T bakery, if you have a T&T near you? I know that not everybody does. I actually had never even known what a T&T was until fairly recently. I don't think that they're super popular in the US except for like 2 locations, but they are expanding, and I hope that more places get them because they're a really nice store. I was also looking at this kind of cake. Now, I know I just said that I was not in a cake kind of mood, and I wasn't. I was just looking at the deal because they had the bright picture, and I was like, maybe it's something that I can get. What I like to do is I like to get things and put them in my freezer. I will just have them in my freezer, and if I'm ever craving something, I'll take it out of my freezer and eat it, as opposed to spending a lot of money and getting whatever I'm craving right then and there. It's helped me save a lot of money because I tend to go through random cravings literally all the time, but they're all foods that I've literally already eaten and just randomly start thinking about. I have to stop watching all those little mukbang videos on the internet because those are what trigger my cravings the worst. Every time I see them, I'm like, I really want to eat that thing, even though I don't actually. It's just because I'm watching the video. One of my friends told me that he likes to watch these mukbang videos literally because he wants to pretend like he's eating the thing that they're eating in the video, and I think that I might be the same way. It's literally just me watching other people eating the thing that I might want to eat, but I don't actually want to eat it. It's so weird, and that's why I try to stick away from the mukbangs. That being said, I really like people doing normal mukbangs, like just eating their normal lunch or dinner, whatever it might be. Those kinds of videos are really up my alley because it just feels like you're eating lunch with a friend. The The hot bar at TNT is also incredible. They have so many different options available, and everything at the TNT in terms of the hot bar is offered per pound, so you pay like $12 or something per pound, which is a lot, but for getting a few different items, especially if you're going shopping or something and you want to get a quick lunch, it's actually not that bad. And all of the food is so delicious that I'm willing to splurge a little bit to try it out. I don't get a whole lot. I get like 1/4 of a pound or something, and that is plenty of food, especially if you don't eat any of the soups or anything, because water tends to add on pounds really quickly. But you can get the dry stuff or just drain out the soup from the soupy items, and then you can get the flavor of the item without paying the price of the watery soup. I can't even claim that as an original idea. It's literally just something that my parents taught me ever since I was young, and we used to go to these buffets. They were like, always drain out the soup because you don't want to just fill yourself up with drinking a lot of the soup from the items. That's because I used to go to buffets and then just get a bunch of the soups because those were where all of the sauces and the flavors were, and they didn't want me to just eat all the soups instead of eating the actual food item. Was anybody else one of those kids where you preferred eating the soups as opposed to the actual thing? I don't know why. Nowadays I don't even particularly like soup that much. I don't mind soup, especially this really good spinach and lentil soup that my mom makes, but otherwise I'm just not that big of a soup person. If you give me a soup, I will eat it, maybe begrudgingly, but I will eat it, but it's not my cup of tea, so to speak. Do you guys have a favorite cuisine that you like eating the most? I tend to gravitate towards Asian cuisines. It doesn't necessarily matter what Asian culture they are, but I prefer the flavors of Asian foods over other kinds of foods. I will also tear up any kind of Mexican food. I think that I just like eating a lot of really high spice foods more than anything. As I've grown older, I've realized that I really enjoy spicy foods, which is another marked departure from when I was younger, because I used to hate spicy foods. It would drive my parents absolutely crazy because they would always spice our foods heavily, and I would always not be able to eat it because it was too spicy for me. So I'm kind of amused by the fact that here I am years later and I'm craving spice and purposely adding spice to literally everything that I eat. One of my friends has literally always joked that I add hot sauce to everything, and it's so true. I literally douse all of my food in sriracha or hot sauce. Speaking of sriracha and hot sauce, what is your favorite hot sauce? Because I don't have a straightforward answer to this. It depends entirely on the food. Not all hot sauces are created equally, and not all hot sauces are applicable to all food items. Sriracha goes great on rice, but I would never put it on like tacos or anything. I think that that would not taste good at all. Cholula is another one of my favorites, and I put that on literally everything: eggs, tortillas, anything like that. But I do not put it on my Asian food because I don't think that it would taste good. Does anybody else do that, or am I just like a crazy person? Because I've literally always thought this. There are certain hot sauces that belong on certain things, but you cannot mix them across food groups. Alright, that is enough of me yapping for one day. Let me know what your favorite Asian grocery store in general is, and what your favorite food is. I will see you guys next time. I love you guys so much. Bye!